Welcome to the Litigation Psychology Podcast, brought to you by Courtroom Sciences. Dr. Steve Wood, sitting here in a hotel lobby in San Diego with my man, Bill Kanasky. Bill?
Yeah, we're in the Gas Lamp District here in downtown San Diego. I got some cheesy music, hotel lobby music behind. It's actually a pick-me-up type of music, but at 6:15 local time. And by the way, I'm going to start. I have two rants today. The first one is which you experienced last night, but not to my extent.
Yeah, thank goodness.
What type of city has a music festival on a Wednesday night until 11 p.m.?
Yeah.
The building was shaking. Boom, boom, boom. That was my night. So I'm like, I got no sleep. I'm thinking, who in the world has a music fest on a Wednesday night? They shut the street down. You heard,
it was quite the production here.
It was quite the production. So Dr. K has no sleep whatsoever. But the bigger rant is, because I'm up at 3:00 in the morning, so on Eastern time. So I go down to the gym in between sets of shoulder rehab, by the way, which that's a whole nother rant I got to get into. A little rotator cuff problem. Is I look down at my phone and I have this app called Nextdoor. Do you have Nextdoor? The Nextdoor app?
I used to have it. I don't get on it, but yes.
So it's so you log on and whoever's in your kind of local neighborhoods and communities, and people post stuff and stuff like that. So there's a post from my wife that she posts this publicly that my son left his bike. Okay, there's like a bike rack up at the beginning of the neighborhood where the security gate is. He left his bike up there right before the hurricane. Let the hurricane go by, and now the bike's missing. And she posts this to say, hey, if anybody's seen this $300 bike, can you please contact me? Well, funny enough, this is the first I'm hearing of it. So I took a screenshot of it. I said to my wife, like, what the, what's going on here? Oh yeah, I meant to tell you. Yeah, your son lost his bike. Don't you think maybe I should have been the first phone call on that?
I would think, but based upon the reaction, maybe there's a reason why you weren't the first phone call.
Well, I'm not very happy with that. So needless to say, the first call home today was not pleasant. Of course, housekeeping has just turned on the vacuum cleaner in the background because we cannot get a freaking break here in San Diego, people.
Yeah. We thought so it was quiet. There's only a little bit of activity going on. As soon as we cue up the microphone, all of a sudden now everybody wants to do something.
If I tell her to stop, do you think she's going to stop?
No.
God. Okay, well, hopefully she moves over. The sound won't be that bad. Today's episode, and I think we're going to do multiple episodes of this topic because I've been collecting viewer and listener mail. I've got a shit ton of questions, and I have not shared these questions with you. I'm going to turn my laptop this way because I want to bounce these off of you.
All right.
And I do not want you to be ready for them. I just want off the cuff answers. This first one's outstanding. Dear guys, what are some of the things that, this is from an attorney, trial attorney, defense counsel. What are some of the things that jurors are highly critical of at trial that I may not be aware of? I got a lot of these questions.
Things that they're not.
I think this is different for females and males too.
Yeah.
Based on how jurors can be critical of little things that have nothing to do with the case.
Yeah, I find a lot of times, depending, they are critical, like as you said about whether or not male or female. I find that jurors tend to be a little bit more critical of females, right? In their presentations.
Attire.
Yeah, a lot.
Shoes are a big thing.
Yeah.
Jurors comment on and we're going to do a separate podcast on dress code. But yeah, they're definitely going to get dress code remarks depending on what venue. And I think the dress code is going to change per venue depending on where you're at. I think how you dress in Des Moines, Iowa, may be a little bit different than Vegas or LA.
I think speaking of Vegas, that's another thing that made me think about something that
we own Vegas, by the way, people. Own the jury consulting. We've cornered the market there in Vegas.
Well, and cornering the market means you have to know how to say the state name, right? It's Nevada, not Nevada. But that's another thing.
Our current client today, by the way, can't say Nevada. Yeah, she says Nevada. And by the way, you jumped right on her for that.
Yeah,
because the jurors jump on you.
That's my point, and that's where I was going. Is jurors will jump on you for things like that. And you think, well, what does it matter? But obviously, for someone who lives in Nevada, it matters, and it could, it's across the board for other venues as well, right? Is to know the kind of what are the what are the little nuances of a certain venue so that you don't come in there and say something that pisses off jurors?
That happens all the time. Now, another thing, let's just get away from attire. Another thing is juries I see pick on at trial, and this is from post-trial interviews, is like how organized your counsel table is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it looks like a tornado went through your counsel table, you need to have your pens lined up, your little sticky notes lined up, and jurors, they're checking out things like organization on your table.
Yeah.
How you communicate with each other, right?
Yeah. No, and I've written on that too. Obviously, in my attorney credibility articles was talking about that's one of the things is if you seem disorganized, if you seem like you don't have things together, the jurors are definitely going to notice, and they're going to definitely, hammer you for it. And it could be the difference too is if they start to sense that you're unorganized, if they start to sense that you don't have your act together, it could bleed over obviously into your presentation, and you could be giving good evidence, but the fact that it's kind of mishmashed and you can't find what you need to on a paper at a certain time is problematic.
Okay, do you know she is using a vacuum cleaner? She's getting close to us, and it's not on carpet, right?
No.
I mean, this is a carpet vacuum cleaner, and she's going over, is it tile, marble? I mean, this is actually unbelievable. All right. Next question that is kind of related to the first one, and you had a nice segue with your Nevada is, dear guys, how do jurors perceive out-of-town defense attorneys?
Yeah,
you parachute in on a case, or your attorney coming in from a different town. How does that play with the jurors? Because I do think it can make a difference.
I think it does more often in a bad way if they come in and they're flashy. If you're if a venue that's more rural, more conservative, and your attorney comes in and has this Rolex and all this, I'm laughing because thank you.
Hi, we're in the middle of a podcast. What's your name? Cristobal. Thank you very much. We'd like 2 coffees. Absolutely. See, the service we get here at the Hilton Gas Lamp District is quite amazing. I'm glad that the vacuum stopped. We had to get that to stop. Needless to say, I think attorneys coming out of town with the infamous case in New Orleans. It was an oil and gas case. There was a environmental case, and they brought in LA attorneys, and all the LA attorneys bought cowboy boots and shit that, and they were just trying to dress like Southern. Yeah, that's not going to work out. Jurors are not going to like that. So
but I think though there's something to be said. Obviously, if you can connect with jurors and find common ground with them, and you might be from LA going to a different venue, but if you can find common ground with them. But as far as buying brand new boots and all of a sudden you're getting a cowboy hat and all of a sudden you turn out like Brian Kelly and you develop
Brian Kelly
Southern accent that doesn't exist.
I'm so happy to be here at LSU. What are you doing, Brian Kelly?
It can be backfire. So I think it goes to a point really as,
be yourself.
Yeah, be genuine.
Just be yourself. And I think you embrace where you're from, right? Now, then again, if you're a Chicago attorney and you're going to Green Bay, Wisconsin to try a case, not a good idea. I just don't think that's
wear your Packers tie.
You don't wear your Bears tie. You don't wear your Bears tie, and you don't wear the cheesehead thing either, because they're going to figure it out really quickly. So I think it is be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else because it's going to stick out. Everybody is going to figure it out. This is damn good coffee, by the way. Have you tried it yet?
No, I have not.
Yeah, Cristobal set us up because we're the only people here.
Yeah,
that vacuum's going again. Wow. I kind of like this kind of on-site live. I wish we were live. That would be great.
That would be good. We need to do this more often, but this is the first time I think we've seen each other. And
so the first time that we're really kind of off-site doing this. So this is really fantastic. Okay, next question. This is a doozy. How do I get a former employee to cooperate for deposition? He was terminated and still pissed. This is a killer. I've got a case list. We go to trial in 2 weeks, and we're like red carpeting this guy with, paying your gas, fill up your gas tank, pay your miles, lunch here, order an extra lunch, take it home to your family.
I mean, I think that's all you can really do, right? I mean, if they're no longer an employee, they're not a named defendant, what skin in the game do they have? And you can't go to them and say, do us a favor, do us a solid and help us out, because they're going to tell you to get lost. So I think, that's definitely a difficult one. And I think to your point, the best thing you can do is
better be nice.
Yeah.
I think you have to say, listen, the plaintiff is trying to disparage your name.
That's where I would go. Yeah.
This is, they're calling you out now. Yeah, you're not an employee anymore, but but this is your name, and we don't think you did anything wrong. And I may be pissed off for us for other reasons, but I think they can be fairly compensated for their time to come in for witness prep or trial prep. You need to throw them out mileage money or gas money. You got to feed them well when you're there, right? Take care of them. And you got to be flexible. If they say, hey, I can't do this until after work, right? Well, then you're going to be doing it from 6 to 9 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it's flexibility, taking care of them. But I think that all those prep sessions have to start with a little venting session.
Absolutely.
They're pissed.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's what we've always talked about, on multiple podcasts, about understanding where your witness is coming from and then addressing that rather than launching right into it, especially in those situations. I mean, most witnesses, if not all witnesses, know the game, right? Where they're saying, you're just calling me in to save your ass.
Yeah.
I'm just really,
which is true.
Yeah. But, and they know it too, though. And that's the point, is they know it. So now they feel manipulated, or they feel like the only reason why you care is because, you need me to not say something bad to tank this case.
Yeah. By the way, I'm totally getting the breakfast burrito. It's freaking fantastic here. They make the chorizo and back homemade chorizo. Oh, it's just, I'm going breakfast burrito. I don't know. The menu's over there.
I'll take
I'm totally go. I mean, I went egg whites and oatmeal yesterday, but the day before, breakfast burrito here at the Hilton Gas Lab District in San Diego. Can't beat it. I think it ranks in my top 5 of breakfast burritos. Are you a fan of breakfast burritos?
Sort of.
Huge fan.
I mean, living in Texas, apparently it's a thing.
Well, see, I don't live in Texas.
Yeah,
so when I travel, I'm getting a breakfast burrito. All right, next question. Okay, again, some of these questions are kind of off the wall, but hey, viewers and listeners have questions, attorneys have questions. Do jurors like attorneys who wear glasses? What make me look more sophisticated? All righty.
I think one of the really kind of the thought that you were talking about is bringing up a lot of times that we get asked, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I wear this? Or should I wear that? I mean, there's not necessarily a right or wrong answer for everything about whether or not you wear glasses or you don't wear glasses, or do I wear my hair in a bun or don't wear my hair in a bun.
I don't think the case is coming down to the eyewear. I really don't think that.
No.
But also, I think also attorneys, it's like you can't really give them anything without them getting offended by you. It's like when your wife asks you, hey, does this dress look good on me? Right? If you don't say, oh, it looks fantastic. I mean, you're going to be in the doghouse.
Right.
And so again, be natural, be yourself. If you typically normally wear glasses, I wouldn't go out and buy a pair of glasses for trial.
No.
Then you're fidgeting with them. Maybe they don't fit right. You get that thing on your nose, the bridge of your nose. Yeah, don't. Okay. So I think don't just, if you wear glasses, wear glasses.
I will bring that up. One thing though, I think one I've noticed, I've actually heard from jurors before about wearing glasses, though, is some jurors have been upset about attorneys who have their glasses that are kind of half on their nose, half off, and they're looking down at their paper with their notes, and then they're looking up over the bridge of their glasses.
But if they're readers, that's the way you wear readers, right?
No, I know, but I mean, we've heard before where some jurors feel like it's condescending.
Really?
Yeah.
Well.
But at the same point though, to your point, I don't think I would use the comments of a few jurors though to.
That's not going to drive. It's
correct.
Nuclear verdicts. Cause number 6.
Yeah.
You're wearing the wrong glasses, you idiot. No. Now I would say, two things I've heard from jurors. Number one, if your glasses are 15 years old and don't sit even on your face, you look disheveled. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Right. So they got to look, and I would say, when I wore glasses, thank you, eye surgeon, don't wear glasses anymore, but upgrading your glasses, you got to spend some money on some nice glasses. Yeah. Now, not over the top, but they got to look professional, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, let's get off the eyewear comments. Let's see. Next question. Do expert witnesses really impact jury decision making? Ooh, this because boy, the money that are spent on these expert witnesses is staggering.
Yeah.
And I got bad news for you on my answer on this question, but I'll let you comment on it.
No, well, I think my comment obviously is a lot of times jurors obviously understand they're paid experts. Jurors understand that essentially they're not purely objective, right? They're being hired by one side versus the other. and that they're going to say whatever their side wants to say. With that said, I think that the value of an expert witness, though, is to bring a level of understanding to a technical topic that sometimes the attorneys can't address or don't address or aren't able to address, so that the experts are able to clarify and explain things for jurors.
They help the attorneys more than the jury.
Yeah,
Right? That's what they do. They help form arguments. So,
correct. Yes, they help.
If you have two good experts on either side, it just doesn't matter. Now, if one expert like just drastically outperforms the other, I think but in 90% of these cases, we don't see jurors making decisions on, oh yeah, that expert was fantastic, and we chose the defense because they had the better expert. That just doesn't happen. There you go. I like the mid podcast sneeze by Dr. Wood.
Yeah.
I think right before we started, I was choking. I took a very bad angle on the sip of my water and was hacking my brains out.
How was that water anyway?
This water's terrible. If a water comes in a can, with the exception,
Liquid Death.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Again, we're still looking for them to be a sponsor. We're arguing with our producer about that. But yeah, canned water in general, very, very bad. Gets a little metallic taste. Don't like it. You get yourself some Liquid Death.
That's the way to go. Yeah,
that is the way to go. All right, this is another really good one. I get this question a lot, and now that trials are kind of back in full steam here. And by the way, I've written on this topic. I've spoken on this topic for 12 years. No one listens. How long should my opening statement be? Duh. But go ahead.
Short, concise.
No one. But it's the thing. It's there's this defense mechanism in the attorney brain that I'm representing this client. More is better. More is better. And I got to put on this, 1 hour and 15-minute thorough present. Steve, everybody's falling asleep after 35 minutes.
No, I agree. And we're going to see it
when they're pissed.
Yeah.
And they're pissed.
The eyes will glaze over and they're not paying attention. So yeah, you don't need to spend 25 minutes thanking the jurors for their service, talking about what a civic duty it is and how you're happy to represent your client, and that just come out
25 to 35 minutes in most cases. The majority, sweet spot. That's your sweet spot. And here's the other thing I get. Well, plaintiff's counsel is like, we've done the research on plaintiff's counsel. He or she, they typically go at least an hour. I'm like, good. That's good for you.
Yeah.
Good. Let the plaintiff's attorney put the jury to sleep. Oh, by the way, we forgot to do that. Welcome to our new segment. We have several new listeners from a specific group.
Yeah. How did we forget?
Plaintiff attorneys, welcome.
Thank you.
We know you're out there. I actually had two of them email me that said, because most of our presentations are to defense bar, defense clients, defense groups, but some of them we do are open to all attorneys because it's CLE, could be state-based, and anybody can jump on. I don't care. That's fine. I'm getting emails from plaintiff attorneys saying, I love your stuff and I really like the things that you do, and I like your podcast. I'm like, well, thank you very much. So plaintiff attorneys, thank you. Becoming very popular. We have another story we'll tell you on a different episode about a recent presentation that let's just say the litigation psychology podcast was we're very popular in the defense. Yes, we are. I kind of like that. 25 to 35 minutes is your sweet spot for juror attention span. You go over that, you're losing people. Okay. And we've had a podcast about how to order the information. Okay. You have to come out firing. I'm not going to redo that whole podcast now, but come out firing with your best stuff. Not, I'm so happy to be here to represent corporation XYZ. No. You do that in jury selection. Okay. You get up and you start firing missiles, right? Alternative causation, right? You're going to blame the plaintiff. You're going to blame a co-defendant, an empty chair. You got to do something to get the blame off of your client and point it someplace else. And you got about 10 seconds to do that. So don't screw that.
Well, I mean, obviously, Bill, there's a reason why we keep our podcast short, right? There's a reason why we don't go the hour length like a lot of these.
Not
going to
listen.
No.
Except our 100th episode. That was good. Well, by the way, I think we're quickly approaching 200.
Yes. One other thing, length does not imply strength.
It doesn't. It does not. In fact, and then things get disorganized. It's just you put people to sleep. So 25, 35 minutes, people in your opening. Let's do a couple more and then we'll do it. We'll make this a 2-part series.
Right.
does it look bad in front of the jury if I object a lot as defense counsel? That's a good question.
I guess it would depend on what you're objecting about and how often, but I'd say at the same time, though, I think you run the risk if you're not objecting, that you're letting plaintiff counsel get away with a lot of things because they know you're too scared to actually object. So they're going to push the limit. Yeah, they're going to toe up to the line. They're going to go probably over the line because they know you're just more scared about looking bad in front of the jury of objecting than
jurors don't give a shit. Listen, these people watch freaking movies. They watch what they do in the movies. Objection, Your Honor. They're expecting it, right? Number one. But number two, and the most important thing, and listen, I'm not an attorney. You're not an attorney. Thank God. Love being a psychologist. But what I hear from my very close attorney friends is for your appellate case, right? You better object. That reptile case went to the appellate court in California and got denied. And the number one reason was, well, you didn't object contemporaneously with what's going on, and that's the key. And by the way, object in jury selection. God damn it! I mean, if they're reptiling, right, your jurors with all the safety bullshit, you object.
I just saw another case recently where that exact same thing happened, where one of the attorneys tried to bring up an objection much later, and the judge said, no, you had an opportunity to object and you didn't.
I know. So you got to object. I think it's how you're doing it, right? But you have to do it. And the juror, have you ever interviewed a juror after a mock or a real trial? I don't know. Those objections really insulted me, or I was offended by.
Never heard that.
Gosh, I mean, come on, people. Yes, you got to object. And you got to object in freaking jury selection if they're pulling their reptile crap, right? But in opening statement, if they're bending the rules, you got to object. You got to object. And if you don't, it's going to cost you. You better do it in closing too. Because if you don't, again, there goes that appellate case down the drain. Let's do one more, and then we'll do a part two. You're going to like this one, Steve, because you just did this last week. I did it like 3 weeks ago. You guys travel a lot. How do I survive a red-eye flight home from California back east? Man, talk about pain. I've done it twice. The first time I totally screwed it up, and I think I was off for about the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
awful.
Melatonin.
Rule number one, melatonin. Rule number two, no booze.
Yeah. Don't
get off the sauce.
Yep. Don't drink before. And then, like I said, you got to figure out a way to be able to sleep on that plane.
You have to sleep on that plane. But here's the thing: when you're in California and you're going back to the East Coast, it's that because your flight's going to leave at what 10:30, 11 p.m. local time. Well, that's 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever, 1:30. So when you're at the airport, it's that kind of 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. local time where you're dying.
Right.
You're absolutely dying. I would take a little bit of caffeine, right? I would bring some work to do, but you cannot fade at that point because then you're going to be screwed on the flight home.
Well, I think to your point about a little bit of caffeine, now that wouldn't be the time to go out.
Let's not go crazy with this.
Not be the time to go out and pound a couple of Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Because then you're never sleeping on the plane either. Then
totally
you're really screwed up.
Totally agree. All right, I think that's enough for today. We have to go do a mock trial. But this was fun. We have a bunch more questions that we'll get to for the next episode.
Thanks for joining. This has been another edition of Litigation Psychology Podcast brought to you by Courtroom Sciences.
Sit.